How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson. A couple recent NBA lottery picks have not lived up to their expectations, struggling to get playing time. Some busts like Hasheem Thabeet and Johnny Flynn were picked ahead of Steph Curry. Both have been out of the NBA for over 5 years now, while others have gotten plenty of chances. Even former first overall pick Kwame Brown played more than 10 years in the NBA, made over $60 million for his career. Pretty solid for an NBA bust. Here are every NBA busts who has one last chance to save their careers next season. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, on the last year of his 4-year $52 million contract, after exercising his player option in June, making $13 million a year, the 6'7" forward took a step back last season, putting up career lows of 6.7 points, 3.8 rebounds, and only 18.4 minutes of action in 64 games played. Mainly came off the bench after starting all but 3 games his first 6 seasons combined. If the former second overall pick don't show potential, I predict a vet minimum for next season, or he'll be playing overseas. Doesn't help the fact that he still can't shoot, with the Hornets projected to be one of the worst teams next season, and if Kidd-Gilchrist can't help them win games, his NBA future's in big trouble. Evan Turner, who will complete his 4-year $70 million contract after being traded to the Atlanta Hawks, the soon-to-be 31-year-old also averaged a career low last season of 6.8 points and 22 minutes of action, came off the bench and was a non-factor at times, didn't contribute much for Portland, isn't great at one specific skill set, won't get any better anytime soon. It's shocking Turner isn't talked about as much, being a huge bust, selected second overall in the 2010 NBA draft, picked ahead of guys like DeMarcus Cousins and Paul George. He was absolutely terrible in the 2019 playoffs, didn't show up when the team needed him most, was almost unplayable at times, averaged a pathetic 2.7 points on 32.6% shooting in 16 games, and with the Hawks focus on their young guys, Turner's simply not in their future plans. The team won't need him at all. I predict he will get 10 minutes a game coming off the bench, averaging less than 5 points. His NBA days are getting limited. Henry Ellenson, the former 18 overall pick, has had a disappointing first 3 seasons in the league, having averages of 4.3 points, 2.5 rebounds on under 38% shooting, getting very limited action with the Pistons and Knicks, 2 terrible teams. His lack of quickness and athleticism at 6'11" is a huge concern in the NBA. Was picked up by the Brooklyn Nets in a 2-way signing after being an unrestricted free agent. This might be his last ever opportunity to stay in the league. Alex Len, the former 5th overall pick, is a very below average NBA player, but did average a career best 11.1 points with the Hawks last season, but still very limited offensively. Not a good rebounder, being 7'1". His 2-year $8.5 million contract will end after next season and will be the starting center at times for Atlanta, but if John Collins continues to get better, I don't see Len getting many minutes, lacks ball control, and hasn't proved to be a big difference maker. Will need to average at least 8 points a game next season to be safe for the season after. Noah Vonleh, who continues to bounce around the association, will be playing for 6 different teams in 5 seasons, signed a 1-year $2 million contract with the Timberwolves, shown a little promise last season with the Knicks, started 57 games on a very bad team, averaged 8.4 points, 7.8 rebounds in over 25 minutes, career highs, but his production didn't translate to wins. Has above level athleticism for his size, but still never lived up to his expectations. As a former 9th overall pick out of Indiana, if he doesn't get playing time next season, his career is very well in trouble. Thon Maker, who was selected 10th overall in the 2016 draft, viewed as the mystery man, nobody knew where he was going to end up, but drastically underperformed his first 3 seasons, was unplayable at times, very inconsistent. The Bucks traded him to the Pistons, where he wasn't much better, having averages of 4.6 points, 2.8 rebounds his first 195 NBA games. He has 1 year remaining on his rookie contract, making over 3.5 mil next season. With many conspiracy theories about his age coming into the league, Thon was supposedly 19 years old at the time he was drafted, but hasn't improved one bit. Now listed at 22 years old, he might be realistically 25 or 26, but none of us knows for sure his real age or whether or not he will be in the NBA after next season. Michael Carter-Williams, I know I mentioned his name on a couple of my past videos. The former 2014 Rookie of the Year winner fell off faster than anybody in recent times, will now continue to remain in the league as long as possible. After a nightmare season with the Hornets in 2018, the Rockets gave him a chance but was so awful they traded him to the Bulls for a 2nd round pick in cash, immediately waived by Chicago. After 2 10-day contracts with the Magic, he remained in Orlando, averaged 6.6 points, 4 rebounds in the 5-game playoff playoff loss to the Raptors, will continue to come off the bench, giving very little production. If somehow he can significantly improve his outside jumper, I don't see how he will be a good use for any team. Anthony Bennett. Who would have thought the former first overall pick is given another shot at the NBA? This time, signed with the Houston Rockets. Perhaps the 6'8" power forward out of UNLV will go down as the biggest bust in NBA history. Averaged a pathetic 4.4 points, 3.1 rebounds in 12.6 minutes of action. Shot 39% from the field his 4 seasons. Played with 4 different teams, last with the Brooklyn Nets in the 2016-17 season. Even the worst team in the NBA in the Phoenix Suns waived him in 2017. After spending time in Turkey and the G League, the Rockets extended him to a non-guaranteed deal. While many are rooting for him to succeed, others are using his opportunity to poke fun of Carmelo Anthony. But Bennett can't shoot, can't do anything. In today's game, Melo can easily still give you at least 12 points a game. Very sad to see what this has come to. But it will be very interesting to see if Bennett can last more games than Melo with the Rockets. Shabazz Napier, who signed a 1-year $1.9 million deal fully guaranteed with the Timberwolves in replacement of Tyus Jones, who got a whopping 3-year $28 million deal with Memphis. The 6'1" point guard averaged a career best 9.4 points, 2.6 assists a season ago, but shot less than 39% from the field, is a liability on defense, and very inefficient. Already 28 years old, it doesn't seem like the former UConn prodigy will get any better, and will need to make an impact with the Timberwolves, otherwise nobody might sign him afterwards. Jahlil Okafor, who rejuvenated himself last season a little bit after Anthony Davis went down with injury in January, averaged 8.2 points, 4.7 rebounds, continues to prove why he's one of the best post-up players in the league, but his play style is very limited in today's NBA as a big man. Now with Zion and Jackson Hayes in New Orleans, Okafor will continue fighting for minutes with his contract partially guaranteed for next season. The Pelicans exercise their team option on Jahlil, who will need to prove why once again he's an impactful player, but time is ticking for the 23-year-old. Skal Labissière, who has one more year in his contract with the Blazers, making $2.3 million, averaged a career low 3 points, 2 rebounds in 22 games last season, barely played and not living up to his expectations, didn't play in this year's Summer League after dealing with a shoulder injury. If he can't provide solid minutes off the bench, his career's in jeopardy. Bismack Biyombo, where the Orlando Magic gave him a 4-year $70 million contract in summer 2016, but has barely produced in limited playing time now with the Charlotte Hornets, I'm sure they can't wait to get rid of him. Averaged 4.4 points, 4.6 rebounds a season ago in 14.5 minutes played on a very bad team. With his lack of offensive power, he won't be able to help the team much at all. Will already be entering his 9th season in the league and will turn 27 years old. It definitely seems like he's older than that. I won't be surprised if he doesn't play in the NBA after 2020. Those are all the bosses who has one last chance to save their careers next season who are currently on NBA teams. Honorable mentions includes Tyler Lydon, who signed a 2-year deal with the Sacramento Kings, where the 23-year-old power forward was selected 24th overall in the 2017 draft, played a total of 26 games, averaged less than 1 point for his career. His contract's partially guaranteed for 2 years. While Josh Jackson's career is looking like a disappointment, he has shown some potential, showing good upside defensively at times. Markelle Fultz has been looking like a disaster, not getting his head right. It will be a big mystery how his NBA future goes heading into his 3rd season. And Nick Stauskas, who's still a free agent, hasn't been signed yet. Dragon Bender's expected to sign overseas, and Marquise Chris is still a free agent. And Jimmy Fredette signed with Greece. Thank you so much for watching this video. I love all of you. See you next time.